Hello and welcome to this walkthrough of the television studio in the CAB building at Glyndwr University. I'm joined here with Colin Heron, Programme Leader. Now Colin, what actually is a live session?
Well, the live sessions we do here are normally band sessions. It can be anything from someone doing a solo spot, or it can be a full band, and they can be either famous, not famous, or hopeless.
Ah, that's quite impressive. What involvement do the students have in these sessions?
Well, the students run it all, so the students are expected to do the sound, the vision, the lighting, and also work with the bands and liaise with them to make the session happen.
Oh, that's a brilliant experience. And when usually are these sessions?
Well, normally we run them on a Wednesday afternoon, and we make sure that they go out live at 6 o'clock, which gives us a target to work to. And that works with the bands normally, because the bands don't have to dedicate a full night to it, so it seems to be the best way.
That's brilliant. And finally, what else happens at the studio? I see it's fully equipped, so what else goes on in there?
Well, we teach students as a university.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for that, Colin.
Get off.
And now let's go see where the magic happens.
James.
So this is the inside of the Creative Industries building. Over here we've got Can FM, our community radio station, where students can get their ideas and shows on air. And upstairs we've got state-of-the-art Mac and PC labs with industry standard software such as the Adobe Creative Cloud, Fusion and Pro Tools. And through here we have a fully equipped TV studio where students can do single camera weather reports or a multi-camera band shoot. So let's go take a look. So here is the studio. We can sit about 40 guests here, and it's full of so much equipment like the cameras, the lights, and also lots of audio equipment. For this part of the video, we're going to talk about the studio in general and what we use it for, so interviews, live sessions, and just generally being creative. Well, that's why it's called the Creative Industries building. So we'll get started with some of the equipment. Here we've got 3 curtains. The first one, this black one, quite black and dark and plain, and can be used for interviews and live sessions. Secondly, we've got the white curtain, which is quite bright and reflective, and that can be used for product shots because it gives a nice light back. Last but not least, we've got the green screen, which can be keyed out to add any background to a shot. So for example, you could put your subject in New York City. We could also key it out live using the vision mixer upstairs to make a weather report, but all this isn't possible without the lights. In the studio, there are 2 types of light. There's the grid lighting and the array lights. The grid can hold up to 24 lights, and each light is connected by a DMX cable in a daisy chain formation. The lights are controlled by a lighting desk up in the gallery. We used the lighting rig to light for green screens. It was a flat, even coverage of the subject, or for an interview because it was quite a natural bright light. Now the array lights come in a 300, 650 or 1K, and we use these for creative shots such as bands and just anything creative really. And we can adjust the array by just touching the knob on the back here.
Warning! Array lights get incredibly hot. Gloves must be worn at all times when handling these lights.
Now we adjust the array by turning this knob at the back. So we turn it this way and we get a flood. And we turn the knob this way and we get a spot. Now, if you just want to jazz the shot up a bit, you can add lighting gels. And these gels can add a bit of a mood to a shot. They simply fit on the light and they add a colour to the light. And you could use a blue gel, for example, for quite a calm shot, or a red one for quite a warm shot. Now that's enough about lights. Let's move on to a sound topic, audio. This is the audio mixing desk of the studio. This is where all the instruments feed in, such as the mic, guitars, drums, or any other instruments the bands might bring with them. The mix gets sent to 2 amps either side of the studio for the audience to listen to, and the further mix gets sent up to the gallery and added to the broadcast feed. So this is the Blackmagic Studio camera. It's the future of studio cameras. It is essentially just an iPad with a lens on, but like most cameras it can just fit a normal lens with just the zoom and focus from the lens. Now to adjust the other settings such as the white balance, shutter speed and ISO, we have the menu button here, and to adjust the aperture we have the iris button here. You might have noticed around the lamp it's very green and grainy, and this is a feature called focus peaking, which shows what is in focus just to get the perfect focus on a shot. Now to connect it to upstairs and to the gallery, we have a BNC cable that comes out of the SDI out port, runs along the floor to the patch bay, up through the wall to the machine control room, and into the gallery. Now, let's go and have a look at the other cameras, the JVC. This is the JVC camera. It's mounted on this cage on top of the tripod. And because it's on there, we have to use the servo zoom and focus, which control here, which it's quite big to reach around if they wasn't on. But if it was handheld, that's how we'd do it. And if it was handheld, we'd use through the viewfinder here, but with the cage, we have this very handy monitor here. Now, in terms of communicate with upstairs to know what shot to get or what the director wants, we've got these headsets here, which we talk through the mic to the comms here, and we can communicate with upstairs. Now, to get power to the camera, we have this umbilical here, which also controls the ISO and aperture in the gallery, which we'll show you later. And the video feeds to this BNC cable that runs along this cable along the floor here, with the umbilical as well. And they come into the patch bay here. And this is where our BNCs feed, and this is where the umbilical feeds. And all these cables from the patch go through the wall upstairs to the machine control room, which feeds to the gallery, and that's where we'll go now. Cable porn. So I mentioned earlier about the gallery. Well, here it is. This is where everything feeds to and everything's mixed for broadcast. So let's take a look at how everything works. So this is the lighting desk, which controls all the lights on the studio rig. We've got all these faders here that control the intensity of the light, taking them up and down. We can black it out completely. We can also set up a sequence of lights to come on at certain intensities in certain times, a certain order. So here is the Blackmagic UltraScopes. These scopes show us what the colours are like of the shot, to also make sure if it's of a broadcast standard. So we've got the RGB parade here that shows the red, green and the blue. It's quite a green spike because it's quite a green shot. Here we've got the luminance that shows the luminosity of the shot and the gamma. And here the vector scope, which shows how true the colours are to their true colours. So as you can see, it's pointing towards green here because it's quite a green shot. So this is the camera control unit for the JVC cameras down the studio. We use these to adjust the shutter speed, any audio gain, white balance and the aperture on the blacks. Now, to adjust the aperture, we move the little knob up and down, and to adjust the blacks, we turn the dial here, and you can see it's getting slightly brighter and darker every time we move it. You can't actually change these settings on the camera when they're in the cage, so we use this up here to control that. Now this is the comms the director will use to talk to the floor and say what shot they want from the cameras on the floor. Now, this is the vision mixer, and on the vision mixer we've got the program bus, which is everything that's being programmed live, and the preset bus, which is the next shot that the director wants. Now to transition between shots, we use this fader here that moves up and down. We can use a dissolve or a wipe, whatever transitions best for that shot. Now also with the vision mixer, we can live key, which is brilliant for weather reports, and we can also do picture-in-picture, which is great for a news piece or even an interview. Here is the capture PC. We use this to record everything that's broadcast out from the studio. And here's the graphics PC. We use this to put graphics into our shot, whether it's for keying or picture-in-picture. Right now, we've got our own world-renowned DJ, Graham Park, as a graphic. This is our mixing desk, and here are our receivers for our radio mics that feed channels 1 to 4. We have a broadcast mix which gets fed into our live feed and broadcast out live. So here we are setting up for a live session. We start by getting our cameras in position, setting the lights and adding gels. Then the audio is set and the band sound check. Once we are happy, we move to the gallery, balance the cameras, set the shots and go to broadcast.
As I roved out one evening by a river of discontent, I bumped straight into old Tom Paine as I run down the road he went. He said, I can't stop right now.
Thank you for watching. I hope you feel informed and confident to get in the studio and make something creative.
Around my throat and hang me on the liberty tree. But I will dance to Tom Paine's bones. I'll dance to Tom Paine's bones. I'll dance in the oldest boots I own to the rhythm of Tom Paine's bones. I will dance to Tom Paine's bones. I'll dance to Tom Paine's bones. Dance in the oldest boots I own to the rhythm of Tom Paine's bones. Well, I only talked about freedom and justice for everyone, but ever since sense of a word I spoke. I've been looking down the barrel of a gun, and they said I preach revolution. Let me say in my defense that all I did